Welcome. I'm Cheryl Bridgman,
And I'm Allie White.
and we're here to talk today about the word study and vocabulary at the junior high level. So, a comprehensive literacy program has 10 components. All are essential and should be embedded into your short term and long term planning. Our work for this PD day, though, is to look closely at word work and vocabulary.
Within the main component of word study, grades 7 to 9 focus primarily on word meaning and vocabulary, word structure, and solving actions within the curriculum.
So, word study and word meaning. We know research tells us that reading comprehension is highly dependent on the understanding of meaning in words.
And research also says that vocabulary is the best indicator of reading success, so we must spend time explicitly teaching vocabulary skills in all of the content areas.
So based on research, we're going to go through each of the 6 of these. We want to make sure that we're creating student independence, teaching with the gradual release of responsibility model.
We want to make sure that we're structuring literacy time every day, and that is focused on evidence-based and pedagogically rich information.
We want to ensure we're supporting students with significant disabilities.
And that we are designing a literacy-rich classroom environment.
And we want to, most importantly, I think, use assessment to guide our instruction.
And all teachers, every teacher in a school, should be modeling a love of literacy.
So we have an acronym AIM that we're hoping that will help you remember the process that we will use as we're approaching word study. So the A in AIM stands for assessment, which means we assess word study skills of all students, and we can do this whole group or small group.
And then the I stands for identify, where we're going to score the assessment and we're going to identify the 2 greatest needs or the weaknesses that your classroom will need.
Then the M stands for the mini lessons. Here's where the teaching comes in. We want to create mini lessons to support the areas of needs and weaknesses of your students. And again, this could be whole group or small group.
And then we always want to make sure that we are reassessing and reflecting and repeating our practice. So we may want to redo something that we've already done if we feel that the students haven't understood it to the full capacity.
So when we look at the A in assessment, we'll be asking divisionally for you to administer the Words Their Way upper elementary spelling inventory. And this is for all 7 to 9 students. And then you'll be putting your results into Dossier. And we've got links in there to help you know what to do there. Vocabulary assessments, we've also linked there for you to have a look at. And this is a formal way to see what your students know in terms of their vocabulary and understanding of the meaning of the words.
Now the I in AIM stands for identify. So we're going to score the assessment and identify the 2 greatest needs and weaknesses for the class as a whole. So this slide here particularly has a lot of the links on it that you may want to use when you notice that there's gaps for your class that you want to instruct upon. They're provided for you to explore those links so you feel comfortable pulling out the needs for your class in word study and vocabulary.
And the M. So here's the mini lessons. We've linked here for you access to different research on how to attack those areas of study. So we've got F&P word study kits, as well as some links to Cerevello work that helps you focus on that word study. Think about, as you're doing this, how many mini lessons per week would you do? And how do these link to your reading and writing lesson plans?
So this slide shows how AIM comes together. So once you do an assessment, and in this case onto this slide, it's a vocabulary assessment, and then the needs of the class are identified from that assessment. And then finally, you have the mini lessons that you're going to use to address the needs of your class. If you like to follow a few steps to help you identify the results from an assessment, please check out the So What, Now What document that is linked there. There is a video of a mini lesson that is provided for you to watch, and this all came to be from very poor results that we had from a vocabulary assessment in junior high.
And it's very important to reassess, reflect, and repeat assessments, instruction, and mini lessons. The frequency and topic of the needs will depend on your classroom observations and our formal and informal assessments. Think about how often you would do this and what your intention purpose would be.
Think about how you would set up the structure of your classroom so that you are able to deliver mini lessons and have the flexibility to group students into smaller groups, should those groups need to be working on the same targeted area of concern.
So again, this slide helps you decide when you would explicitly teach mini lessons in a whole group, small group, or independent scenario to maximize the benefit of differentiation and students getting what they need to move forward in their understanding of word study and vocabulary.
Here are a few examples of how to embed or tweak what you are already doing to intentionally add components of word study practices into your classroom. I suspect that you have many more ideas than this, but it's a good place to start if you're unsure of how to structure word study into your daily, weekly, or monthly plans.
You may wonder why there is such an emphasis on word study in junior high. Research tells us that a very large percentage of words in the English language originate from Greek and Latin affixes and root words. So working on these skills with our students will definitely help them in their understanding of their reading. There are also links here if you're interested in where these word attack skills lie within the Alberta curriculum and the provincial achievement tests.
This is a one-stop shop slide for many of the resources mentioned earlier in the slideshow. Again, it's organized by the AIM process, and within each of these categories, there are links of resources to explore. These are by no means the only resources to use for word study or vocabulary. They're just a great summary of what to use within each category, and you will create your own mini lessons and then have even more resources.
Okay, so now comes your mission. So the following 4 steps are what we would like you to follow for the rest of your time with us today. So we want you to join your school's Google Meet link, which is on the next slide. Then follow the instructions on slide 20 and slide 21. And as you're going through this process, fill out the document within your school's folder. And then finally, once you've completed all that, complete the survey when finished to give us feedback on this session and let us know what your needs are for the next steps.
Thank you. Good luck.